Hi everyone, this is Sunette, and in this video I am continuing my journey, process and experiences with portaling. And in this video I would like to share a challenging process that I've walked these past 14 years, and something that has been with me in a way that it would come up every now and then, especially in my relationship with others. And this challenging point will also explain what exactly it is that I see when I see another person or being's potential. What exactly is that potential? And how do I see it? Meaning the geometry, the design, the color, the shape, and furthermore, what that seeing also means for you, if or as like I would look into you, and the looking into you is also maybe I'll also start there. The looking into, the seeing into what I've practiced, and this I practiced with deliberate awareness, and I still do, where I will look into a person's eyes. I mean, I register you, I see you, on a physical level. Yeah, I know what you physically look like, but at the same time, it is not something that I consciously focus on. Now, for most of us, when we look into a person's eyes or we look at a person, we do just that, we look at them. And from there, we tend to respond within ourselves with thoughts, memories, projections, imaginations, inner dialogue, emotions, feelings, based on the external presentation, based on what they look like. Because interestingly enough, we tend to have such a primary relationship with ourselves. We look into our own eyes. We look in the mirror, our reflection. Even when we see others look at us, what comes up in our mind is our external representation, our physical bodies, what we look like, how we seem, how they could possibly be interpreting or responding to or reacting to what we're looking like. So for for most of us, our relationship with others and ourselves is on that external surface level. It's superficial, essentially. And how my portaling assisted and supported me. It's not also, which so many perceive, that with portaling and having access to all of existence, that I also suddenly miraculously, had access to certain changes in my seeing, my way of communicating, interacting, interpreting the interdimensional, multidimensional seeing into physical reality. Everything that I've acquired throughout these 14 years, yes, has to a certain extent been supported by and contributed by my portaling. But I would say 90% of it was things that I had to do, I had to work toward over time with practice, making mistakes, going through the ups and downs, the challenges and the difficulties. So, like with the seeing, for me as well, even in the beginning stages and phases of time that I was portaling, there was still that challenge for me because, a part of me on my mind level was still, going through my own individual process of having the tendency to look at myself and others on only that physical level. And I had to consciously walk my process in those real time moments of assisting and supporting myself to drop my tendency to look at the person only on their physical appearance and have my own preconceived judgments, reactions, predisposed responses come up inside of me that have been conditioned in me, programmed in me, that I've accepted and allowed throughout my lifetime in the years before. in terms of the expectations of what I should look like, or what my wants, needs, and desires is for, let's even say, the opposite sex. Um, so I've walked extensive processes within myself, and what's worked for me in my life in writing self-forgiveness, real-time change, in redefining how I see myself and how I see others. I mean, so this is something that you can take with you as well, and in practicing. Whenever you look at yourself in the mirror, or whenever you find someone looking at you or think someone's looking at you, and the main thing that you're concerned about is what you're looking like on a physical external level, start deepening your relationship with yourself and start seeing into you, start seeing deeper and beyond just the physical uh, facade. Start the moment. What's worked for me in especially in the beginning years, when I started portaling and transitioning in this process of seeing only very superficially to creating my seeing to become more deeper into myself, which then allowed me to also see deeper into others. So it started from within me, and said, as I expanded me, it expanded in my relationship of seeing within others. So what worked for me is whenever I look into the mirror, look into my eyes, is ask myself, okay, what more of me do I see here? And as I look at me and look into my eyes, or smile, or just place a straight face, words such as strength, determination, perseverance, a go-getter would come through within me. Sometimes, yes, initially, when you'd look into the mirror, you'd either have the physical judgments that come up. So I do my forgiveness and work through that. And then, also within myself and all seeing only the bad, was what I explained in my previous video, where the person shared that they loved that I saw just that more of them, because they tend to only see the bad, the negative, what's not good enough within themselves, the judgments, the comparisons, and how to teach themselves to how I see them in seeing that something more. But we do see it inside of us. In fact, we just tend to not really nurture the good, the potential, the the potential for best and better that we can be and become within ourselves. We deliberately in our everyday lives tend to shift more into the negative of ourselves, right? So, this process of seeing multidimensionally and interdimensionally actually became let's call it a very a support for me, in a sense that, whenever I'd portal, I would have, yes, immediate access to the person's mind and being and body, and multidimensional, interdimensional existence. But for me individually as a person, to also learn to, in my everyday life, see the more of people, that's where I had to work through my real-time judgments of them, my real-time immediate relationship that I would create with them only on the superficial, physical, surface level. And in that person, the moment I would first judge them based on their physical appearance, or what I am, how I'm reacting to them, I would then ask myself, what more do I see in that person? We sometimes do see that something more in other people, our best friend, our siblings, our family. You have that connection and seeing it in others. You also have it with seeing it in yourself. And this is how you can develop this way or method of seeing potential for you practically in your everyday life. And you'll find that, that makes such a difference in how you view yourself and how you start viewing others. So it becomes really exceptional and supportive in changing just your relationship and your experience with people in your everyday life. When you stop just looking at them based on the visual aspects and start training yourself to seeing the more in people, the more in yourself. You can start weaving through words that you see as potentials in you in your everyday life and start practice living them more, recognizing them in yourself more. That's what I mean, like a simple basic reference of what I mean by seeing potential and how you can do that for you and for others. All right, everyone, thank you very much for listening. In the next video, I'll continue with how this seeing of potential, I could do for myself and others, in this reality, the basic, simple way. But what would sometimes happen is, I would, because of my interdimensional, multidimensional access, I would be able to see, a deep level of potential. And, I would think that, okay, that person can see it too, but they can't yet. And then, here's me trying to bring out that potential in them, but they're still blind to it. And why that particular access was initially challenging for me and how I corrected myself. Thank you very much, everyone. See you in videos to come.